game for the 15th of December. What's up? So there was a maintenance today. I'm just going to read verbatim exactly what happened because I don't want to get it wrong. There was the ballistic shield where people were finding ways to use weapons that weren't intended. Fixed. Fixed a bug where immediately leaving a survival session rewarded players with too much field proficiency XP. So that's fixed. Also, the named NPCs being killed endlessly, you can't do that anymore.
No.
Stop it. Stop it, please. That's you know who you are. You may also have seen the news that there is a free weekend on PC for The Division this weekend. Look, a lot of you guys already play the game, I'm sure. That's how you know about the stream and that's why you're here. But if you aren't playing the game, you can play it for free on PC this weekend. And also, if you have friends that are like, oh, I don't know, maybe, you know?
I got some friends.
Get in there.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
I struggle with the whole friends
I
thing.
do. I have a couple.
It's not something I'm very
I'm
good at.
right here, though, so.
There you go. You both have copies.
You ruined it.
Yeah, so I mean, actually, here's your job. Invite a friend to play on the weekend. I think that'd be cool.
It would be.
It's going to start today, actually, at 7 p.m. So
Wow.
in 2 hours, exactly,
Wow.
you can get on for free. And it'll go until Sunday at 10 p.m. So that's, you know,
Don't do math.
I'm not going to do math. And time zones, they do my head in. Anyway, Sunday, 10 p.m. So whatever 5 hours from now on Sunday, whatever time that is for you, all right?
Work it out.
All right. You won't be able to play DLC content, so you will get the base game, you get all the Dark Zone, you get all that, and you'll get the current patch, which is 1.5. You won't get Survival or Underground, so there is that. Just so people are clear on those points. There will be no limits to what level you can reach. There's no limit to how much time you can play. Just that period. So
That's great.
Sweet.
So you can get really stuck into it, which is awesome. It'll be available on Uplay and Steam, and you will keep your progress. So if you do jump in and you're like, oh, I found all this awesome stuff, I really want to continue it, you can do that. So that's going to be really, really cool.
Kind of want to play for free.
Yes, Survival is coming on Tuesday to PlayStation. So
Woo!
yes, waiting sucks, but that's not going to have to be much longer.
Yeah.
Which is very, very cool. There will, on Tuesday, be a maintenance for PlayStation. So the servers won't come down if you're on Xbox or PC, which is really, really good. And yeah, you'll be getting Survival. There's also a fix for the CE error that you've been receiving that's gone on Tuesday, is what I'm told. And also, there is support for PS4 Pro. So we can tell you that now, which is fantastic. Cool. So PS4 Pro users, if you are fancy enough to own one of those things, I've got one here.
Dude, really?
Oh, yeah.
Or is this a phone? Hey,
Hello?
want to play Survival, Terry?
Yeah. Let's go.
What up?
Cool
All right,
phone,
let's
bro.
do it. Thanks.
I
We're
thought
going.
you were going to present that to me. No. As a gift.
A gift
No,
to Red Storm?
it's me for another day. In fact, when I say another day, it's for Tuesday because we're going to be doing a nice big PS4 stream.
Nice.
And I'm excited to see how it looks on a PS4 Pro.
Yeah,
It'll
that'd
be
be cool.
There was, and let's be as transparent as possible. We did accidentally. There were some issues with banning. Some people who were unintentionally banned. Those have been reversed. If you have been banned and you don't think it was legitimate, please contact support, which is support.ub.com, and they will sort you out. And talking about your past production with the Divisions, especially, you've been focused largely on the Dark Zone and PvP.
That's correct.
Yes.
It's been what's that been like for you? When people sit down and say, well, I guess producers say, hey guys, we're in charge of the Dark Zone. Were you guys stoked about that? Or because I know you guys have a PvP background, right?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, we play a lot of PvP.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of games with PvP. We focus on it. It's kind of part of the DNA.
Obviously, we have the Elite Task Force. We
Yes.
have said that we're going to be focusing on PvP,
Yes.
which is something that we couldn't do in 1.4, like we had said for all of that time. But it's very exciting to be tackling that beast.
Yeah.
Which it is. It is a beast.
It is.
We have a bunch of people who are really, really hardcore into the PvP. Some people who, like myself, who aren't good at it but love it, but maybe struggle a bit with some of the things going on right now.
Yeah.
Where do you think what's kind of like the goal, right? So when you sit down, you're like, I want this player to feel this when 1.6 drops.
The goal, if it had to be like one sentence,
Yeah.
the fun that 1.4 and 1.5 brought back to PvE,
Yeah.
that's what we want to happen to PvP in 1.6.
Okay.
We
So like,
wanted-
especially, I mean, I guess the world tier was the big thing for 1.4 that changed. Well, I mean, it's not. I don't think it's too little to say change the game.
It did.
It changed the game for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I really think that with that frame of mind, I mean, I really hope that we can have a similar thing for PvP. What would you say are some of the things that will be like focuses in terms of like a bigger gameplay sense? What do you think's lacking?
Well, I think we wanted it to be more competitive in the first place. Right? We felt like there was a gap between mediocre players and the elite players, and we wanted to close the gap a little bit.
Would you say the gear has a big impact on that? I mean, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I feel like sometimes you can get into that situation where you go into the dark zone, and you'll have a gear score that's high. Like you'll be in the top ranked
You're
dark
feeling
zone,
good.
right? Like you're like, I've got good gear. And then someone comes along and you feel like you have no chance.
Yeah.
Well, how do you guys feel about that?
Well, I mean, the dark zone in general, there's the unpredictability to it, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of situational awareness that goes into every encounter.
Let me preface this with I'm bad as well. Like, this isn't that like I'm not blaming my tools. I'm also bad, but I feel like sometimes I'm like I shot that guy real good, you know?
Right.
And I feel like I did a good engagement. I'm playing well, and sometimes I feel like I have no chance because that's like Wids or something. Like that guy, come on, man.
Yeah, I think, for me, and I think you'd probably agree with this, Terry, it's just...
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Maybe I disagree. Why don't you go on, though?
Whoa.
Whoa.
Basically see, in that moment where, you felt like you got good shots on him and the engagement kicked off at the same moment,
Yeah.
making it end in a way where you feel like you stood a fighting chance, right? Like, even if you don't win every engagement, you feel like you're in it, right? And right now, sometimes we have the huge runaways, and that's that's one of the things we'd like to focus on.
The point is, thank you for applying. We had a bunch of people who applied to the ETF.
Yes.
We will be contacting you in the very near future. And to reiterate, this isn't a competition. We won't be announcing winners. We will be contacting people privately, and it's up to them if they want to, publicize that or keep it to themselves.
You're going to interrupt me.
No, I'm not. Go ahead.
We're adding Dark Zone leaderboards for 1.6. So
Yes.
we're super psyched about it.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Dark Zone leaderboards for a second because that is, it's so cool.
Yeah, and they're
Yes.
not just your average leaderboards.
No, not at all.
No. So I really, really want to show you in the near future exactly how those will work. We can talk about it a bit. So that's it's going to be very, very cool. Okay, so run me through this. Like this isn't something where you go to a website and you see your ranking. There's a lot more to it.
There's a
Yeah.
lot more.
So I go into or I head in towards the dark zone, right?
Yep.
I look up, and there's a leaderboard, right? Explain to the player what they can kind of expect
Break it down, Keith.
from that. Break it down.
So when like you said, you enter a checkpoint and kind of across from the DZ vendor, up on the wall there's a new AR. And as you approach it, it's just going to kind of expand out and give you information on what is currently being tracked on Dark Zone leaderboards.
Okay, when you say currently, so those are going to be dynamic over time.
Yeah, so they
Alright.
run on a schedule, and they'll just be kind of this constantly updating thing that you can engage with inside the Dark Zone.
Yeah.
And so they're things that players do right now as part of their loops, and we can kind of change them up and give a different flavor.
So for example, what are some of the things that we might be tracking?
So, simple ones like extracted items, named kills, supply drop,
Yep.
claimed, we got
Killing rogues.
killing rogues, ending manhunts, we got, looting Dark Zone chests.
Yeah.
So all sorts of, pretty much anything you can do in the Dark Zone.
We can track those things.
Yes.
And I'd be interested to see, because I'm sure the community would come up with like crazy things to track.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We were talking about it the other day. I don't know if cutting the rope is a great thing to track. It would be interesting.
Oh, we got
but
the tracking
maybe
hook.
Yeah,
maybe rage inducing. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you that we've, it's in there, it's accessible, but
Yeah.
Well, we got to think about these things.
We have to
right?
think about it.
So there's a lot of things in there.
It was important that the leaderboards, the Dark Zone leaderboards, reinforce positive behavior.
Yep.
Right.
I
And
think
so,
it's an important thing to note for
yeah,
sure.
that it, as Keith said, they're all part of the existing loops that people already do in the dark zone, and we wanted to give an opportunity to reinforce certain things or emphasize certain things. Like if we find that there's been a lot of rogue activity, cool. Let's let people track killed rogues and send that up on the leaderboards and allow people to get extra rewards for doing that.
We didn't mention that. So there are rewards
Yes.
There are.
for your performance on these leaderboards.
Correct.
All right. How do those rewards work? Like, how would I find out what rewards I'm eligible for and that sort of thing?
So it's part of that AR, right? Like, so
Yeah.
as you come in the first time, right at the start of a new leaderboard period, and there's weekly and monthly ones running like concurrently, so there's lots of stuff to engage with. You can see if you've placed in a reward tier yet, right?
Okay.
And so you can kind of check out the leaderboard, see how far away you are score-wise from all your tracked actions to get your first reward. But once you get that, you want to like maintain it and boost yourself up to different reward tiers.
Okay.
And then you cash them in at the end of the week and the month.
So those get sent to your rewards claim vendor, and you can pick them up.
Yeah, you can pick them up, once you log back in.
Dude, you got it.
Dude, I know. It's like
You did it.
I pretend like I know everything. I know everything, guys. Apparently, that's a thing.
And Keith touched on something real quickly.
Yeah.
There's weekly and monthly,
Yeah.
right? That's a distinction. So there's kind of weekly activities that are going to be tracked, and then a longer term. And after that time period, both of those boards reset with new activities.
Are there any things that'll be static completely forever?
Like an all-time sort of
Like,
thing.
are there any things we're tracking all time, just for my interest?
We're not doing it right now. Kind of
Okay.
keeping it kind of this fresh.
I think the
reset
fresh
approach.
thing's really important, but it's
Fresh.
Yeah,
fresh.
keeping it fresh.
nice.
Very good. Creme fraiche.
Will it be retroactive? Is one of the questions I see in here.
That's a good question.
It's not retroactive, and partially that's because of the schedule approach.
Yeah,
Because at the
yeah,
end
yeah.
of each of these, it'll be a hard reset where the whole community is kind of back competing at the same level.
Yeah, I see that I'm now referred to as Hamish the Omniscient.
Well
It's,
done. You should keep that.
It's accurate. I'm going to ask if I can change my job title. So it's like producer, designer, omniscient.
Omniscient.
Sweet.
We can do
cool.
that, right? What kind of rewards? That's an interesting one.
Great question.
Cootie Miles is saying. So you get caches.
Yeah, but they're new caches.
New caches. Maybe we don't want to spoil what's inside those then.
I don't think we want to spoil, what would be inside of them. But the basic idea is that what you're getting out of them scales based on your reward tier, right?
Cool.
So you're getting more out the better you do.
Fantastic.
Yep.
No, that's really cool. And this is part of 1.6, so people will experience that later
Yes.
on.
Yes,
We're going to be
absolutely.
talking more about 1.6 in the future, and this is by no means the only thing that's
No.
coming in 1.6.
There's a lot.
You can expect a lot more, but I thought it'd be really cool to talk about the leaderboards because that's just one of the cool things.
Yeah, I'm
We've
happy
been
we
working
can.
on it for a while, so I'm happy to get to talk about it.
I think it's important that people know that, as we said, 1.6 it's about PvP.
Yeah.
Right, and I hear a lot. We do spend time on places where the community dwells, Reddit and things like that. We read posts. We know. We get how people feel about the PvP. Motivation, right? We understand.
Yeah.
And our intent is to make it awesome.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
I
right.
hear a lot about fix the PvP and that's our plan. That's the
Yeah,
plan.
Yes.
So
It's legit the plan.
it is legit.
It's going to be really great to so you guys know that we've had the ETF applications open and we've been looking through the players and their stats. There are some crazy PvPers in there.
Yeah,
Dude.
Yannick was showing me earlier. There's a guy who's spent 99% of his time in the dark zone.
Amazing.
Like,
my mind.
Amazing.
Like
That's
a-
amazing. That's so cool.
Like I kid you not.
Yeah, like I love those people. I love
Yes,
them.
it's great. So again, if you weren't here when Terry was talking about it, we really want to make sure that 1.6 does for PvP what 1.4 did for PvE. And that's a really simplified way of putting it. Obviously, it's more complex than that. We don't have a button where it's like replicate for PvP. That's not
That'd
how
be a cool job.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Like if that's all you had,
wish
to
I had-
do to work.
I wish I had all those buttons.
Yeah.